Imagine a chill wind sweeping across the plains of Illinois in 1901. A small house in Chicago, filled with the hopes and anxieties of a new century. This is where our story begins, with a boy named Walt. Not yet the name synonymous with magic, not yet a creator of worlds, just a small child entering a world that would, in turn, be forever shaped by him. Walt Disney wasn't born into privilege. His roots were in the hardscrabble lives of Irish and German immigrants, families who chased dreams across continents. His father, Elias, a man of strong convictions and restless spirit, carried the weight of unfulfilled ambitions, a failed attempt at gold prospecting, a constant search for solid ground. This early instability, this sense of perpetually moving on, would become a quiet undercurrent in Walt's life, a driving force beneath the surface of his boundless creativity. Think of a childhood constantly in motion. Chicago, then a farm in Missouri, then Kansas City, each move a disruption, a new school, new faces. It wasn't an easy upbringing. While other children settled into routines, Walt learned to adapt, to observe, to find solace in his own imagination. He wasn't a star student, his mind often drifting towards sketching, towards bringing characters to life on paper. These weren't just doodles, they were escapes, worlds built to order, a refuge from the uncertainties around him. But this was a world on the cusp of transformation. For centuries, entertainment had been a live experience. Theater, circuses, stories told around a fire. Then came the flicker of images, the birth of cinema. Suddenly, stories weren't limited by geography or time. They could be captured, preserved, and shared with the world. And Walt, growing up amidst this revolution, sensed something profound. He saw the potential, the magic, of making drawings move. Imagine the wonder of those early animated films, crude by today's standards, but revolutionary for their time. Emile Cole's Phantasmagorie in 1908, a simple, hand-drawn fantasy, must have felt like a glimpse into the future. For a young Walt Disney, it wasn't just entertainment, it was a revelation. It was proof that imagination could leap off the page and dance before your eyes. The First World War loomed, and a teenage Walt, filled with patriotic fervor, tried to enlist. Too young, he forged his birth certificate, desperate to contribute. He ended up in France with the Red Cross, but the war was already ending. It was a brief, formative experience, a taste of the wider world, and a continuation of his artistic pursuits, sketching cartoons for Army newspapers. Back in Kansas City, he met Ub Iwerks. This wasn't just a professional partnership, it was a meeting of kindred spirits. Ub, orphaned at a young age, shared Walt's passion for drawing, his relentless work ethic, and his unwavering belief in the power of animation. They were two young men with a dream, and they weren't afraid to strike out on their own. They weren't just creating art, they were building a future. Their early years were a struggle. They experimented, they failed, they learned. Ub developed a clever mechanism to smooth out the animation process, a small innovation with enormous implications. He also possessed a rare gift for design, a talent that would later give shape to one of the most iconic characters in history. But it was Walt who possessed the vision, the drive, the unwavering belief that they could create something truly special. Then came the fateful decision to head west, to Hollywood, the land of sunshine and opportunity. Walt's brother Roy, battling health issues, had already made the move. Hollywood wasn't the glamorous paradise it often appeared to be. It was a competitive, cutthroat world. but it offered something crucial: a climate perfect for filmmaking and a growing studio system eager to embrace new ideas. The early days were filled with challenges. They produced the Alice comedies, a blend of live action and animation to keep the studio afloat. But Walt knew they needed a star, a character that would capture the hearts of audiences. This wasn't just about business. It was about creating something enduring, something that would resonate with people of all ages. And then a rabbit. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. He was a success, but the rights belonged to someone else. A painful lesson learned. Walt realized he needed to own his creations, to control his destiny. On a train ride back from New York, defeated but not broken, he began to sketch a new character. A mouse. Initially, he considered Mortimer Mouse, but his wife, Lillian, gently suggested a different name. Mickey, think of that moment. A simple suggestion, a small act of faith that would change the world. Mickey Mouse wasn't just a cartoon character. He was a symbol of optimism, resilience, and the power of imagination. Steamboat Willie, released in 1928, wasn't just one of the first synchronized sound cartoons. It was a cultural phenomenon. The world had never seen anything like it. But success didn't come without sacrifice. Walt was a demanding leader, a perfectionist who pushed his team to their limits. He could be distant, even harsh. His personal life was complex, marked by struggles with fertility and a quiet, almost obsessive devotion to his model trains, a miniature world he could control when his real world felt chaotic. The 1930s brought the Great Depression, but also incredible creative triumphs. Three Little Pigs, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. These weren't just films, they were events. Snow White was a gamble, a full-length animated feature that many believed was impossible. But Walt dared to dream bigger, to push the boundaries of what was possible. The film wasn't just a critical and commercial success. It was a testament to the power of believing in the impossible. Then came the shadow of war. Disney Studios contributed to the war effort, producing propaganda films and training materials. But even amidst the global conflict, Walt continued to innovate. He experimented with new technologies, new storytelling techniques. After the war, he envisioned something truly ambitious, a place where families could escape the everyday, a place where fantasy and reality blurred. Disneyland. A park built on imagination, on the belief that everyone, regardless of age, deserves to experience the joy of wonder. But Walt Disney was a flawed man. His views on labor, his dealings with the FBI during the Red Scare, and questions surrounding his alleged anti-Semitism are all part of a complex and often troubling legacy. It's important to acknowledge these contradictions, to understand the man in all his complexity, not just the sanitized image projected by the company he built. He continued to push boundaries, releasing films like Mary Poppins and laying the groundwork for EPCOT, a futuristic utopian city that ultimately evolved into another beloved theme park. But his relentless drive took a toll. He was a heavy smoker, and in late 1966, he was diagnosed with lung cancer. He died in December of that year, before EPCOT could become a reality, but his vision lived on. He left behind a legacy of creativity, innovation, and a profound belief in the power of storytelling. Today, the Walt Disney Company is a global empire, a multimedia conglomerate that touches the lives of billions. But at its heart, it remains rooted in the dreams of a young boy from Chicago, a boy who dared to imagine a world where anything is possible. What do you think of Walt Disney? Was he a visionary artist, a shrewd businessman, or a complicated figure whose legacy is forever tainted by his flaws? Do his creations stand the test of time, or have they become symbols of corporate excess? The story of Walt Disney is not just a story about animation. It's a story about ambition, innovation, and the enduring power of the human imagination. It's a story that continues to evolve, to challenge, and to inspire us all. Consider his life, his work, and the world he created. What does it all mean to you?